Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about Infinite Craft AI. It's a game where you take two concepts and combine them into one, and AI will combine them. Pretty simple, right? So let's get started. First of all, no harassing individuals mentioned in this video. Don't do it. Number two, I'm only using the truest publicly available information paired with personal experiences for this video. Number three, I'm following community rules and none of this is intended to be disrespectful. Here are the rules. With that out of the way, let's begin. Who are we talking about? We'll be talking about Vemsiet, the #1 player in this game. They are a tester, an official tester, and soon to be moderator in Infinite Craft. And second up, we have Pelvis Skull, which is an official moderator in the game. Now, here are only the facts I've compiled, which I will be proving. Here's Vemsiet. #1, they're connected with staff team and owner. 2, Vemsiet argues that players should not share recipes. 3, Vemsiet argues players should credit others for tools. And number 4, Vemsiet does anything to enforce a style of gameplay. Next, we have Pelvis Skull, the moderator. This is Vemsiet's direct staff connection and is quick to insult people he disagrees with and has threatened staff abuse. And the one thing that these two share in common is they're almost always playing in the same server together. This is presumably Vemsiet's Discord. This shows that they are a trial in-game moderator. They are soon to be part of the staff team. I will get into why this is a problem for the game. And why do I think this is Vemsiet's Discord? Well, they were in a conversation where they were talking about using leaderboard position titles in the game, and this is around this time is when Vemsiet was #1. And number 2, from this big paragraph right here, they talk pretty much exactly like Vemsiet. We can say this is Vemsiet's Discord. Let's move on. This is Pelvis Skull's Discord. They are an active moderator. This is proof they have big influence in the staff team. So where do I come in? I am somewhat famous in the community for making this element convert prepend convert 2, which can later be used to get prepend convert 2. And this is a very useful element in the game. So this took me a total of 1 week of active gameplay to get, and this was several hours per day for a straight week. Up next, I sell a lot of translating elements for really cheap in the game. And these black boxes right here, they're censoring elements that have nothing to do with these, so yeah, that's why they're censored. This took a total of 6 hours to get. I didn't use this one to get it, I used a different convert 2. All this takes a while to get. Now here's some context. Pelvis Skull also sells language elements, translating language elements, for 9,000 gems each. And for context, here's how many gems I have from roughly 200 hours of gameplay. Be the judge on how well priced that is. Of course, Pelvis Skull and Vemsiet goes to my comment sections on all of my translate elements, and they start harassing me. Vemsiet says these are all copies of the original, where are credits at? And I will get to that later, why that is wrong. And Pelvis Skull says, take it off or I will myself. This is a moderator, threatening staff abuse on an element that doesn't break any rules. Here's another comment section, the convert to German one. Pelvis Skull, the moderator, says, me if I had a savior complex. This is obviously supposed to be condescending to me. This is not how a moderator should be speaking. Here's Vemsiet's paying for my comment section as well. Up next, Vemsiet and Pelvis Skull decide to have an in-game confrontation with me. Now, I don't have any screenshots or videos from this incident, but luckily for me, I have a great memory when it comes to anything pertaining to me. So here is the most factual reenactment of what happened that day. Vemsiet goes up to me and says, stop selling those elements. Why? You didn't give credit to the original creator. There is no original creator since it's a translate element. I never claimed to be the first to make that type of tool. You're teaching new players to beg for good elements. No, I'm not. I'm enabling players to create the elements they want. How would you feel if your elements were stolen? I wouldn't care. It's not about the credit for me. It's about helping people. Plus, they're not stolen. The first person to make that type of tool still owns their variant. You're disrupting how people have played the game for a long time. The playstyle you and other top players have pressured others to follow. It's not up to you to force others to play a specific way, it's up to the owner. Pelvis Skull enters a conversation after observing it. Repeats Femsiet's talking points for a good 45 minutes. Why don't you take down your elements? I'll be happy to if they're breaking rules. If not, they're staying up. I see what kind of person you are now. I saw you took down your elements last night. What happened? Referring to the elements Pelvis Skull commented he would take down personally. I went to bed and it hit the market cooldown. What do you mean you would take it down? It's not breaking any rules. I thought I would scare you a little. It doesn't look good to threaten moderator abuse. And that's the end of that confrontation. Here's a comment section I want to move on to, convert to Amharic, and there are two comments that I have interest in right here. These are by WildBuddy123. Let's read it in the order they were posted. This is not a stolen element. People make new variants, and you can't control that. People gatekeep the originals, so there's no way to get them. You can afford the originals just because you're rich in gems. You trying to influence these elements to go off sale and give hate is more mean. All of this is true. Now here is how Pelvis Skull responds. This community is pathetic and nothing like how it used to be. Keep being brainwashed and manipulated by people. Be my guest, Wild Buddy. I have my damn elements on sale, and guess who's selling a direct copy? This dweeb. So, I did some digging, and they're referring to when I was translating to Korean elements on my marketplace. So, I looked into how many of these exist, and I saw at least 15. 15 translating to Korean elements. And here is where Pelvis Skulls lies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 is criticizing number 14 about copying. Number 4, number 14. Let's move on to the original translate to Korean element. This one is on sale for 500 gems. Keep in mind, Pelvis Skull was selling their translate elements for 9,000 gems. Who's really ripping off who? And another comment I want to move on to in the same comment section of the Amharic one is Femsiet. And do you realize how simple it is to get gems with the daily quest system? You get hundreds a day. Let's do the math on that. So here I have equations on the right. The top one basically says how many gems will he have after doing the daily quest for a specific number of days. This is your total amount of gems. And the second equation right here is the amount of gems you have after grinding 500 per day. So this is active grinding, playing several hours a day. The top one here is Pelvis Skulls. The price is 9,000 gems, and with the daily quest streak, it'll take you 22 days to get this single element. For active grinding, 500 a day, it takes 18 days. This is much longer than it took me to get my translate Korean element. Let's move on to the original. The price is 500 gems. With a daily quest streak, you can take around 3 days to get it, and with active grinding, you can get it in 1 day. That's a lot more reasonable. Lastly, my translate element. The price is 100 gems, and both options, you can get it within less than a day. Now, if you were a new player, and you're trying to pick one which to buy, which one looks more appealing? And keep in mind, they all do the same thing. I'll let you decide. Next, we have the equation for a gem reward from daily quest. Basically, this is saying your reward increases by 25 each day you continue the daily quest streak. And this can increase a lot. If you do this for like 100 days, you get something like crazy, like 2,600 every single day if you do 100 days. Let's assume the casual player reaches 7 daily streak max. I personally, even with playing this game for a long time, I've only reached 5. That is not my focus in the game. So you'll get 325 gems from the daily streak at the 7-day mark. And let's assume you grind for several hours a day. You get the maxed out gems for discoveries, 500 gems. This is not the actual max, but this is what you can reasonably get in a day. Let's say you have really good elements for sale. You can get 300 to 600 per day from sales. Let's assume you get 600 in a day. If you add all these maxes up together, you get a grand total of 1,425 gems max per day for a casual player. This is after playing the game for a week and playing for several hours. That's a far cry from the 9,000 to buy Pelvis Skulls Translate elements. Next up, here is a point of contention for the community, this prepare and convert to element. The comment section has been maxed out by people trying to hide the recipe, and the owner has no idea of this. Who are the main culprits? Vemsiet Pelvis Skull. They have no relation to this person at all, I've checked. So this is what the comment section looks like. It won't even load, and I'll get into why. Who did the spamming? Of course it was these two. They were flooding the comment section to hide the recipe, long before even I got back into the game. They spammed hundreds of comments. Now, who was sharing the recipe? Me and someone else who was helping me. We did a small minority of the spamming. Now, here is the element comment breakdown. These two did an equal amount of spamming, 700 maybe. The point is, it's a lot. They both spammed to the point where nobody could comment anymore. I did 3. The rest of everyone else did pretty much just 100. When comment sections are maxed, you can't send anything. Let's say this comment section is maxed. What you can actually do is delete one of your old comments in the comment section to make room to put something at the top. So the order's completely different now. But they anticipated me doing this, putting the recipe in the newer comments. So what they did, it was they put this in every comment. A bunch of glitch text to block any new comment from sharing the recipe, or even speaking. This breaks the normal boundaries of the text box. But I was one step ahead. I anticipated this, so what I did was I put a bunch of filler text where they put all the spamming. And this has its limits. Glitch text can only go so far because it fills up your character limit, and everything else after a certain point is free real estate. So all this is completely readable. So what happened was I tried baiting them into deleting their comments. I put a new comment in the comment section and waited. I waited for them to delete their comments, and what I do is swoop in and take a good portion of the comment section for myself. Guess what? It worked. I got around 50 comments of my own, up from 3. Vemsiet lost a good 80 comments. Infinite Craft ZZ, someone who is helping me, probably had around 30 comments. And everyone else had around 100 comments as well. This was a huge loss for Vemsiet. They were mad after this incident. So here's what happens when you try to go to the comment section now. Let's look up Prepare and Convert 2. And this is also a video, by the way. Timer starts now. The game freezes. You can't control your camera in this time. This is 4 times speed, by the way. And it takes a total of 40 seconds for the comment section to load. And even after that, it doesn't even load. It just opens the comments. Now, let's go through Vemsiet's bullet points here. Vemsiet is connected with the staff team and owner, as we've proven. Here is more proof. And let's move on. Number 2, Vemsiet argues that players should not share recipes. Here's the issue with that. There's an official section in the community Discord specifically for sharing element recipes. Why is this an issue? Why are you policing players on how they should play the game when this is how the owner wants them to play the game? And also, side tangent here. Let's break this down. I made two videos. One was sharing how to get every useful element in the game. What happened was they removed my element that fast-tracked this. Let's go through the reason why they deleted my element. I have spoken with Vemsiet. She raised the issue of off-site links to the owner data, as you were telling people to go to your YouTube channel. This is partially true, but here is roughly what my comment said. I have no actual screenshot. Again, I remember it very well. Check my video on how to craft this element and Convert 2. So the official Roblox rule says you may not link to, share, or display URLs of any external website or services by using the social links feature, except by using the social links feature on the experience, group, or user detail pages. Let's look at this phrasing, URLs. Do you see a URL in any of this? I don't think so. This rule does not apply. Number 2, You're also given a warning by Vemsiet about offsite links but chose to ignore it, and therefore the element was manually removed by the owner. Possibly explains why it's not in the mod logs. Okay, well, that second part, that's kind of unprofessional, but here's why that's bullshit. Let's go to the slide here. This is what I see when I go to Vemsiet's profile. Nothing shows up besides the username and profile numbers. This is what shows up when someone blocks you. How could I have gotten a verbal warning if I've been blocked by Vemsiet? So, 2 for 2, you're already wrong. This is not very credible. And number 3, the owner has noted that he agrees with the community's stance and doesn't think that broadcasting recipes is healthy for the game progression either. That is also cap. As we've seen, there is an official section for sharing element recipes. So if this is the owner's stance, why is this not gone? Why is this not an issue? Everything in this paragraph right here, explaining why my element was removed, is completely false or erroneous. This was clearly not meant to be a normal moderation issue. This was retaliatory against me playing how they don't want me to. So here's what they could have done if they actually had an issue with my comment. So let's say I post a comment that breaks rules. What they could have done is go to open comments. You see that options section right there? Delete and remove comment. And it's that easy. If you can believe that. Delete my comment and say, you are now warned, don't post that again. Look at that. Quick moderation. I would have complied. And also, to say that nobody should be sharing recipes and punishing me for sharing recipes, you'd have to punish everyone else because this is how everyone plays the game. If you go to any comment section in the game, this is not cherry picked, by the way, you can see people sharing recipes, all sorts of people. So if you take me down, you have to take all these other people down. I'd like to link back to this rule about sharing offsite links, and I clearly did not share an offsite link, but I've opened my comments section on Convert, Prepare, and Convert 2. So if someone decides to say, hey, go to Epic Chicken 31's profile to get the video for how to get all recipes in game, that would not be breaking any rules. And if someone decides to say that, it's kind of out of my hands. I'm sorry. Let's go to Vemsiet's third point. They argue players should credit others for variants of tools. Here's the issue with that. Here's an instance where Vemsiet is claiming credit for Prepare and Convert 2, even though, as we've established, she is not the original creator. Right here, they says, please don't give my elements out. I'd appreciate it. This is, by your logic, this is not your element. Where is the credit? There's no credit. So we could go down this route, Vemsiet, but it's a thorny path for you. And let's go to the fourth point. Vemsiet does anything to enforce a style of gameplay. As we've seen, she has reported my element for breaking a rule that it clearly does not break. This is someone who's willing to do anything to force people to play her way. Now, here's what happened just a couple days ago. I was playing with my friend, and I was giving them pretty much every fun element in the game. This one, notably, check the comments on this element. This was made by Vemsiet. This is not really a useful element, it's just funny to have. I gave them this element, and pretty much every translate element or every other useful element in the game said, go have fun. They did. They had a great time. So here's what happened. Check the comments on this element was removed from the game for a brief period of time. That's kind of interesting. It kind of sounds like someone doesn't want their element to be shared around, and they're willing to use moderator privileges, so they're the only one who has it. And it was rediscovered around 20 minutes later, and I want to go through this real quick. Who was in the server at the time? Vemsiet, Pelvis Skull. Keep in mind, one of these is a moderator. One of these doesn't want anyone to play the game how they don't want to. You can see where the incentive is to bend rules. Here are a couple more things that came from this incident. This is confirmation that it was deleted from my friend's inventory, and I also checked it was deleted from my inventory as well. I was the one who gave it to them. So this was intentionally done to gatekeep this specific element. I will be finding the recipe to this because this is clear gatekeeping. Now, here's an element that was made during the incident by someone who I will get to. Says Epic Chicken is a furry who loves chickens. That is obviously meant to sound negative about me, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But here's an interesting one. An hour after the incident, there's an element called Epic Chicken 31 steals pre-made converters, which also sounds negative, and it was removed an hour after the incident. I'll get into that right after this. And my friend was also insulted, called a Neanderthal. So let's get to the pre-made converters one. So here was the comment section in the pre-made converters. Here is presumably VMCS Discord saying, I don't care if you use my name if you're not making anything weird with it. So weird could also mean negative. This is a negative element, and here's VMCS and Pelvis Skull saying W element, lol, and a bunch of goons following their orders. Here's who made it. This was made like right before this element was made. Now, I don't know why this element was deleted, but it kind of seems like weird timing to delete this right after that incident with the check the comments on this element. Let's go to the Epic Chicken 31 is a furry who loves chickens. This sounds negative. This is meant to sound negative, and here's proof of this person making another one, trying to at least. They didn't actually make it, but this says, love being gay, append, plus I will prepend Epic Chicken 31. And I think we all know what that's supposed to be saying. It's trying to say Epic Chicken 31, love being gay. And that sounds homophobic. And I checked who owns these two elements, since they're quite unique, and they're both owned by the same person. And something to note is that this element was created 104 days ago, meaning this person has done this to several other people. And I did some digging, and I was correct. Here's a screenshot of them doing it to a lot of the top players in the game. Now I did some more digging and found out that they're friends with Pelvis Skull, and this is the only person they're following. And the reason why I found a link between these two people is I found an outfit made by Pelvis Skull called Unesui, the same person who made these elements. Interesting. Also, yes, by the way, you can view anyone's saved outfits on Roblox. It's public information, so be aware of that. I looked online for this Unesui figure, and here's an Urban Dictionary entry about Unesui. And this confirms a few things about Unesui. They're a separate person from Pelvis Skull, unless it's a huge conspiracy spanning months. It's confirmed they are a different person, and they are potentially pro furry. On top of this being their display name in Discord, I can confidently say a few things. As a verdict, this is not an alt of Pelvis Skull, which is where my mind was initially leading me, but after some investigation, I can confirm that this is most likely not the case. And they're probably not homophobic. Last, they're probably not anti-furry. But there is a slight chance for these two things to be true. Because after all, these kind of sound anti-furry right here. They're using furry as a negative statement. And this sounds homophobic right here. Epic Chicken 31, love being gay. That sounds like you're being homophobic. Keep in mind, both of these elements were made pretty much at the exact same time Pelvis Skull and VMCS were on. So this means one thing. VMCS and Pelvis Skull were online when this element was made and had no issue with this. For context, I don't know who this person is. I've never talked to them. So that even if they're not homophobic and not anti-furry, this is inappropriate. These two are inappropriate. So what can we learn from this? Game rules don't matter. Whatever VMCS says goes. Number 2. Negative elements of people are only okay for people you dislike. Number 3. You are forced to play the way VMCS wants you to. Welcome to Infinite Craft AI. Enjoy your stay.